One of the best things about games that boast choice and consequence as a selling point is seeing how far you can push that particular aspect. To truly see whether your decisions matter or whether it's all just an illusion. Sometimes that's by making unconventional choices, and other times it's just all about setting the world on fire and watching the whole thing burn down around you. Both of which are more than catered for in Obsidian's new action RPG, The Outer Worlds. It's a game in which I went to see a companion's family to have a wee little chat, only for them to piss me off, so I did what every intergalactic badass does, and that's kill them. Other games would not foresee this as a logical or even possible, i.e. sane, outcome to this solution, but that's how I wanted it to play out. And Obsidian accounted for this possibility. Heck, they even wrote fully voiced dialogue for it. And let's be clear here, this isn't really a viable or sensible choice in the game. It's not part of the quest, it's just a choice and a consequence that exists within the game. That's the thing with the Outer Worlds. Everything is a choice, everything matters, and most things have a consequence. And just as an FYI, we didn't want to say all there, as that's actually impossible for us to test.
It sure better be. Now go!
Set in an alternate reality where mega corporations rule the roost, The Outer Worlds sees you jump into the space boots of an unknown, fully customizable protagonist who's been lost, floating through space for decades in cryosleep on a ship ironically known as Hope. Your job when you're awoken? Well, that's up to you, to be completely honest. Do you want to grass up the mad scientist that helped you wake up and take the cash for doing so? You can. Do you want to unite the human outposts and become the hero of the people? You can do that too. Want to be a gun for hire? Yep, that's a possibility. Want to be a corporate lackey? Sure, great, go ahead. Want to kill everyone that you come across? Sure, you can do that too. However, the ultimate goal is to save your former shipmates, stuck in suspended animation, by trekking around Halcyon from the Wild West-esque planet of Monarch to the dazzling neon-soaked groundbreaker space station, just doing your thing. Whatever you decide that thing may be. It should come as no surprise when I say the Fallout similarities are uncanny, especially as this is the same studio that brought you Fallout New Vegas, and the project's two leads, Tim Kaine and Leonard Boyarsky, worked on the original Fallout back in the day. Even the faction stuff from New Vegas is at the Outer Worlds core, as is the game's take on Fallout's VAT system, known as TTD, the Tactical Time Dilation System, which slows down time but relies a little bit more on skill. To say that the Outer Worlds is a Fallout clone would be unfair though, but it's certainly inspired by it. Obsidian's game also seems to have taken inspiration from BioWare's action RPG space opera Mass Effect, in that you get a ship, assemble a crew, and attempt to save Halcyon from a whole host of interesting situations. It's a Firefly fantasy if ever there was one. While companions in Fallout and the like have always tended to be a bit pointless and essentially act as empty vessels there to just carry your wares and your burdens, companions in the Outer Worlds actually feel fully fleshed out. They have backstories, opinions, they're acknowledged in talking sequences, offer their thoughts and interact with one another while you're trudging around Halcyon. They are a part of your adventure, they're your allies, and they're an absolute pleasure to have around. Their involvement isn't perhaps as in-depth as in, say, Mass Effect, but they're as close as I think we have gotten since then. Honestly, the best thing about The Outer Worlds, though, is its writing. The dialogue is beautifully crafted, the delivery is spot on, and it's genuinely funny at times. Funny in a way that is natural, with slick, witty one-liners here and there, rather than humour shoehorned in just for the sheer sake of it. That, however, brings in my biggest and maybe only complaint with The Outer Worlds, and that's that the protagonist's lines are unvoiced. When you try and deliver a threat, it feels a little disingenuous as you don't really get the context. The NPC you're speaking to can go from chill to God-fearing with one line from you, but because you read the text rather than hear the tone, there's a bit of a disconnect. That is a mild complaint though, one that you only really notice on the odd occasion.
It's not funny.
As I alluded to earlier, dotted throughout the Outer Worlds are a ton of huge, impactful decisions, proper shades of grey decisions that you will genuinely struggle with. Decisions where there is no good or bad choice, where there is just a choice that will have both positive and negative connotations associated with it, and that's what sets the Outer Worlds apart from other action RPGs. The decisions, they're up there with the Ashley vs Caden decision from Mass Effect. My only grievance is the effect of said choices don't really manifest themselves until the end. Yes, there are big decisions towards the end of the game that will have instant results, but the effects of some of the more world-affecting decisions you don't really experience with your own eyes. The same could be said with a lot of other games featuring choice and consequences though, and considering the Obsidian team is far smaller than say a Bethesda or a BioWare team, it's probably a little unfair to hold them to such lofty standards. The choice and consequence doesn't really stop with the game's story either. The choices you make in your build impacts the options available to you. For instance, you can make yourself super charming and open up more dialogue choices that wouldn't otherwise exist. On the flip side, you can make yourself super dumb and have the same effect. You can build a silver tongue character and talk your way out of trouble more often than not, or you can build a dumb brute who opts for violence over anything else. You can even choose to build an intelligent engineer and opt for a more analytical approach, hacking and lockpicking your way to success. The RPG depth in the Outer Worlds is nearly as enticing as the world and the characters that Obsidian has built. It's genuinely hard to fault the Outer Worlds, if I'm being completely honest. Yes, the load times are pretty long here and there, and the map can sometimes take an age to load as well, but these are minor complaints in what is an otherwise epic jaunt across a unique galaxy. There's no doubt about it in my mind, the Outer Worlds is not just one of the year's best action RPGs, but one of the generation's best. It's deep, it's dark, it's dirty and dastardly, and best of all, the Outer Worlds is whatever you want it to be, whether that's a warlord simulator or hero fantasy or something in between.